The title of this podcast is If It's Bad, Don't Make It Worse. I think of this often when I am in situations that challenge me. And when I say challenge me, they are difficult for my ego to handle. In previous podcasts, the way that I have described this is suffering and more suffering without if you don't have acceptance or work on yourself. And there are several examples in my life in which I did work on myself and the suffering became worse. One of the first examples was when I experienced a financial challenge back in 2003. I isolated myself. I felt a lot of shame about being in the situation. I didn't talk to anyone about it, and I just suffered. I was thinking about it all the time. It was obsessive thinking. For the first few months in which the financial difficulty presented itself, I didn't do anything about it. I ignored it. And so that was a situation that was bad that I made worse. The same thing has happened in relationships. I've done similar things, and that the situation was a challenging for the two of us. There was some kind of conflict, or there was some kind of distance that was occurring between us. And I addressed it in a judgmental way or accusatory way where there was a lot of blame present. And in doing so, I took a situation that was bad and made it worse. Or if I tried to fix it, but because I wasn't coming from a place of inner peace or committed to inner peace, when the relationship became challenging, or the other person would defend or try to explain themselves or blame, I try to hang on of not reacting, but instead I would inevitably react, and I would end up explaining and defending, which only made it worse. We solved nothing. We got nowhere. And then I learned that this situation, whatever it is, let's say if it's undesirable, that I wish it was different. For some people, it might be a divorce. Some people, it might be a work situation in which you are demoted at work, or you are, on corrective action, whatever the case may be. Somebody misunderstood you, whatever the case may be. That situation is challenging, but it's also an opportunity. When you work on yourself, you start to see anything that happens as an opportunity for your practice. But what we mostly do, or what I did, was I would think about it obsessively, come up with plan A through G about how I'm going to deal with it. And I become reactive. That's not the first course of action to do. I want to stay at A first. And A is working on me. And if I work on me, then I will not make it worse. What I'll do is I will start letting go more and more of myself that is resisting the situation and making it a problem, that is unable to see it as an opportunity to deepen my consciousness. So if there's any action to take, it will be intelligent action. So, and sometimes you need a friend to help you do that, who is on some kind of a well-being path that can help you see that there's a different way to approach it. And when I didn't work on myself or didn't go to a friend who had a peaceful solution, you don't want to go to friends who are going to give you agreement about what your normal behavior has been in the past. They say, yeah, this is what you need to do. And I can't believe they said this. We got to handle this. You may end up dealing with it down the road, but that's not the first thing to do. So you want to go and talk to people that live life by taking peaceful approaches. And in doing so, you can not take a situation that's bad and make it worse. I remember when I worked at a job a while back and I felt like I was wronged. And I started talking to other people about it wrong, and I stood my ground. All I did was make it worse. And in those situations where you think you're trying to, stand up for yourself or whatever else, the approach you take can really lead to souring some of those relationships, or not getting additional opportunities, or making it even worse, being asked to leave because of your behavior. So what I've learned is I don't want to be asked to leave. I want to work on myself. And that means in relationships and friendships and everything else, I don't want to take a situation and make it worse. In the case of my financial difficulties, by ignoring it, by not talking to people that could have given me advice, by allowing myself to ruminate, it increased the shame that I experienced. All those things took a situation that was already challenging and made it worse. And your relationships, your friendships, whatever's occurring that's not to your liking, that you wish was different, take a pause and ask yourself, is this action? Is this is this thinking that I'm engaged in making it worse externally and most importantly internally? And if it is, take a breath and course correct. Begin to do things that lead to inner peace. And as I mentioned before, if there's action to take, it'll be action that's rooted in inner peace, and it's action that will lead to, that will be intelligent action. You know, whether it produces the results you want becomes irrelevant, becomes secondary, because you have cultivated more peace and you have saved yourself from making that situation worse.